Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and good morning to all my students, my charming students of class 5. I want all of you to recite Bismillahirrahmanirrahim so we can go ahead. So as you know that this is your science class and this is your science teacher Ms. Zunaira, and today we are back with another revision lecture. As you know that our syllabus is complete, so we are just supposed to relearn the chapters that we have covered, right? So the chapter which we are going to revise today is chapter number 4, which is on page number 56, and the name of the chapter is Investigating Matter. The name of the chapter is Investigating Matter. We have discussed this chapter in detail, okay, so I will not go to the detail of anything. We'll be having the quick review of all the topics included in this chapter. So, the topics, the bullets that are included in this chapter are matter, atom, molecule, element, compound, states of matter, change of states, change in the states of matter. So, first of all, we are going to learn that what is a matter. Matter, we can say that everything around us is the matter. Why? Because matter has two properties that are very important. If any of these two is missing, so the thing cannot be named as or categorized as matter. What are these two conditions? Number one, the thing must be having some weight or mass, vazan, right? So if anything occupies the space and has mass or has weight, if it occupies the space, number one, or has the weight, these two are the conditions which are of matter. So everything around us, if you just look around you will find all the things as matter. For example, on the chair on which you are sitting, that is matter. Why? Because it is having some weight and it is occupying some of the space. Likewise, you yourself is a matter. Okay, you are a matter. How? Because you are having a weight and you are occupying this space on your bed or on your seat, on your desk, wherever you are sitting, right? If you are having that gadget in front of you, that may be mobile, that may be your laptop, your tablet, anything that can be, but that is also a matter because it is having the mass, it is having the weight, and it is occupying the space. The next thing which is very important regarding matter is made up of molecules. Matter is made up of molecules. If we talk about a wall that is made of bricks, now many of the bricks they join together, they form the wall. Likewise, molecules join together to make the proper shape or structure of matter. There are three main types of matter, or three states of matter: solid, liquid, gas, which we'll be learning afterwards. Here comes the examples of matter. Now here you can see that the guy is sitting and he's using his laptop. He's having a cup of coffee, and there's a plant, there is sun outside, there are clouds, there is cat, table, and the glasses is wearing, and the butterfly that is sitting on his laptop or desktop computer. All these things are matter. All these things are matter. Why they all are matter? Because they all are having these two properties. Number one, they are having the weight. Number two, they are occupying some of the space, right? So this is how we can see that all the things around us are the matter. Now, as we just discussed that molecules are the ones that make the matter. If we divide the molecules, we can divide it further. We can just break down the molecule, because the smallest part of the matter is atom. The smallest part of the matter is atom, not the molecule, right? Because and molecule cannot be broken down into further parts. For example, if you are having a piece of for example, if you are having a piece of chalk, if you just break it down in two pieces, you can further break it into four pieces, then five pieces, maybe thousand and many more. But there would a time come on which you cannot further break it down. Likewise, atom is the smallest. Smallest, there is no smaller than the smallest. So that is why atom cannot be further broken down. So what are these? These are the building blocks of the matter that make up everything we encounter every day. The basic unit of matter are the smallest individual part of an element, and it consists of subatomic particles such as proton, electrons and neutrons. These subatomic particles you will be learning in your higher classes. Yes. Okay, beta, we can call the atom as the smallest particle of the matter, smallest particle of the element. But there is a compound which we will be learning. If we talk about the smallest particle of the compound, so that would be molecule. And how that would be molecule, I'll just let you know. So guys, here we are supposed to learn about the molecule. When two or more atoms combine together, when two or more atoms combine together, they form a molecule. They form a molecule. Now here you can compare the atoms and the molecules. Now here you can see this small and you can see the single circles, single ball like structure. These all are the atoms. And what definition I have written over here, that is the smallest particle of an element is called an atom. Now you can see that this yellow one is 1 over here and this yellow one is 2. It means two yellow atoms have combined together. Why they have been combined? They have combined to form a molecule because now there are no more atom. If it was 1, it was atom. But now if two atoms have combined together, they got merged, they got combined, now they are molecule. They are molecule. Likewise, you can see that molecule can be formed by single type of atom. For example, yes guys, we are talking about atoms and molecules. Okay, sorry beta, there was internet distortion. Am I clear to everyone? I'm trying my best to speak louder. If I am unclear, let me know. So, as we talked about the atoms, atoms are the smallest particles and they are in single form. If that is not in single form, that can never be called as atom. If the atoms are combined, they can be formed molecule. Now, beta, one thing which is important for you is that molecule can be formed by similar atoms and dissimilar atoms too. For example, here you can see the yellow one that is made by two yellow atoms, but here you can see that three purple atoms are there, and this one the pink, or I guess another color. Okay, so you can see that these are different from one another. Yes, beta, I'm back. So atoms and molecules, I hope that these two definitions are clear to you guys. Now we need to go ahead. Now this is the paragraph from your book where you can see that atoms and molecules are so small that they cannot be seen even by the most powerful microscope. Approximately 4 million. You can see the quantity over here, 4 million gold atoms placed end to end will form a line of only 1 millimeter. Now you know that how small 1 millimeter is, but in that line of gold, how many atoms would be there? There would be 4 million atoms. So you can just bring this concept in your mind that how small it is, right? Thousands of water molecules are present in the tiny drop of water. Atoms are of one element are different from the atoms of other elements. Every element has its own kind of atoms. Now we need to know about the elements. Now here I want you to know about elements and compound along with each other, because we need to just differentiate it as well, right? So beta, on your left side, you can see left side of your screen, you can see that there are elements. Elements can be molecule. See, this one, helium atoms are the atoms, oxygen are the molecules. Now we are taking molecules and atoms both in the category of element. But one thing which is very important, remember, I repeat that in elements we can bring the atoms, we can bring the molecules, both can be brought in elements, atoms and molecules. But 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 it is very important that these, in this molecule, you can see both atoms are of same kind. This is only the difference, this is the main difference, this is the very key difference which you need to know between elements and compound. That in the molecules of, see, in compound we cannot find any of the atom. Okay, so of course we are going to differentiate their molecules. Okay, because atoms can be placed in elements, but atoms cannot be placed in compounds. There would be only molecules. So let's take the molecules of elements and molecules of compounds. Now one thing we need to notice over here is that in elements, the molecule is having all the atoms of all the, you can know, yes, all the atoms are similar. In the molecule of element, the atoms are similar, but in the molecule of compound, the atoms are different. For example, here you can see two blue atoms, they have been joined together to form molecule. Okay, and here you can see that blue and the brown one, they are making the water. Okay, two hydrogen atoms bonding with one oxygen atom. Now because hydrogen is there and oxygen is there, it means two different kinds of atoms are there. So if two different kinds of atoms are there, they can form compound, they cannot form the element. Elements can be formed by similar, these are not similar. This is the one is hydrogen, another is the oxygen, they are different from each other. But oxygen that we inhale as our yes, a respiratory gas, that is in diatomic form. Do you know that in our environment, oxygen does not exist in atom, it exists in molecule. So that is why the oxygen that we inhale, the gas that we inhale, is having all the molecules of 2 atoms. Okay, likewise if we see, okay, I was telling you that the smallest particle of the compound is the molecule, not the atom. How? Because atoms cannot be placed in the compound. In the compounds there are no atoms, so how atom can be the smallest particle of the compound? Of course that would be molecule, right? So this is how you can see that similar atoms, the molecule is having similar atoms, that is element. The molecule is having dissimilar atoms, that is compound. Here again you can see another example. You can see that H2. Okay beta, when you see the molecular formula of any element, this number which is written on the base is basically the quantity. For example, H2 indicates two atoms of hydrogen, O2 indicates two atoms of oxygen, likewise two atoms of nitrogen, two atoms of chlorine. Now N is single, one we do not write. If there is no digit, it means one nitrogen and one oxygen. Now there is two with H, it means two hydrogen, one oxygen, one nitrogen, two oxygen, one carbon and two oxygen. Okay, so the number which is written on the base is showing the quantity of that particular atom. This is the difference of elements and compound. Okay, so we are here you are having the difference in tabular form. Elements consist of only one kind of atom, compounds always have more than one kind of atom. So can we place The oxygen, if I just ask you that O2, that is oxygen molecule. O2, that is oxygen molecule. Can we place it into compound? No, because I am saying O2. It means both the oxygen, both the atoms are of oxygen. Both the atoms are similar to each other, so they will be kept in the category of element. But if I say H2O, now H is representing hydrogen, O is representing oxygen. Hydrogen and oxygen are different from each other. So this is how these dissimilar atoms are combined to form a molecule. So they will be kept in the category of compound, right? We cannot divide element into two or more simpler substances by physical or chemical means. There are chemical reactions that you will learn in your higher classes. We can divide the compound into elements by chemical means. Okay, so beta, here it is written there are only 118 types of elements. Let me tell you that according to your book, if you have been asked, you will write 110, because in your book the quantity which is written for the elements, that is 110. So you need to remember that there are 110 elements known to mankind. There is no upper limit on the type of compound that can be formed. For example, it is like alphabets. Like elements are like alphabets, like A, B, C. Now we know that alphabets are 26. Okay, there would be no 27th alphabet. There would be no 28th alphabet. But these 26 alphabets can make several words, thousand words, million words, right? Like apple, mango, and all these things are made by, initially these are made by the words are made by the alphabets. So likewise, elements are basically like alphabets that cannot be that is having a particular quantity like 110, right? But compounds can be of many types, because two types of elements, when they combine, they form the compound. Now their mixture can be of many types. So according to that, we can say that there is no limitation on the compounds to be formed. Here are some of the examples from your book: oxygen, hydrogen, iron, gold, aluminium, carbon, silver, copper. These all are the elements. Okay, and water, that is H2O. That is compound. Okay, because H and O, two types of atoms are there. Carbon dioxide, CO2, CO2. Yes, CO2. So that is also having two kinds of atoms. Okay, they're similar with each other, so that would be compound. Likewise, there are many of the compounds, like the cooking salt that we use, the chalk, the vinegar, the baking soda, and all the spices are also made of many of the molecules of compound. Water is the example, carbon dioxide is the example. Okay, so here we can see that difference. Now we need to know about the states of matter. We know that there are three main states of the matter, that is solid, liquid, gas. Now here in front of you there are several examples. I do not need to read them out one by one, because these all are very common to you, right? Now we are going to discuss them one by one. When we talk about a solid is a state of matter with fixed shape and volume. Beta, see in these three things. What three things? Solid, liquid, and gas. We will be discussing their shape and volume, either definite or indefinite, either definite or not definite, right? So when we talk about the solid, they are having fixed shape and volume. In other words, we can say that they are having definite shape and definite volume. Shape is definite, volume is definite. If you're having a pencil, right? If you will just drop down your pencil on the floor, the shape would be same, the volume would be same. If you will keep that pencil in a glass, that would be having the same shape and the same volume. Likewise, if that is in your hand, that is having the same volume and the same shape, right? So that is why we can say that the solid is the state of matter with fixed shape or volume, or we can say that the definite shape and volume. Why it is so? Because the particles, here we are using that particle is a word that is representing atoms and molecules, right? Particles are close packed, so they can vibrate but no flow like liquids. Solids are rigid. They cannot be compressed easily. Can you compress your mobile? No. Okay, beta, there are certain types of solids like your eraser that can be compressed a bit. Okay, but usually most of the solids, they cannot be compressed because their molecules are so tight, their molecules are so closely packed that they cannot be compressed. When we talk about the liquid is having the definite volume but not no shape is there. Is water having a shape? No. If we are having a glass of water and we will just just pour that water in jug, that would take the shape of the jug. It We just pour it into another container, that would attain the shape of that container. Likewise, if we just pour the water on the floor, there would be no shape. It would be just spread out on the floor. So it means no definite shape but definite volume. But definite volume. Okay, as I told you that shape and volume will be learning one by one. And if we talk about the gases, so they are having no proper shape, no shape and no volume. Why? Because the molecules are so far apart from each other that there is hardly any force of attraction. But what is force of attraction? Do you know? If we say that, uh, for example, like we can take the example here. In water, we can just dip our hand, but in solid, can we dip our hand? No. Why? Because the molecules are so tightly packed, they are not giving us the space to just allow. It is not just allowing our hand to go in, but if we just get our hand inside the water, it goes inside the water. Why? Because the molecules are not as much tightly packed as in the solid. So when we just so we can just have this experiment in the home as well. Okay, and we'll find that the rigidity of water is less than the rigidity of solid. But in the gas, we can move. Now see, we are sitting and we are surrounded by a number of the gases, including carbon dioxide, including oxygen, nitrogen gases. There are different other gases are there, because we know that air is the mixture of gases. Now the gases molecules allow us to live with them. We are sitting with between the molecules of gases. So it means that the molecules are so far apart from each other that there is no force of attraction. Again, here comes the table in front of you where you can see that solid, liquid, and gas one by one. Solid, fixed shape and volume. And if we talk about the movement of particles, okay, beta, the gas particles can move easily. Why? Because they are far from each other. Okay, they are not tightly packed. There is no force of attraction. The force of attraction in the molecules or atoms just make them able to bring the rigidity in them. For example, if we are having a solid any like solid shape with us, okay, now we can just feel the rigidity that is just due to the force of attraction between the molecules which is in that matter. If we talk about the liquid, the shape can change. Volume is fixed, it can flow. Loosely packed, free moving, no fixed position. There is no fixed position of water. When we talk about the gas, shape and volume not fixed, and it depends on the container. It can also flow. Very loosely packed. quickly moving far away from each other. These are the properties of the states of matter. Now here there is the table from your book. Okay, you can just look it down in your book as well. Okay, the same things are written over there, the same things are discussed over here, their shape, their volume, either they can flow or not, or the force of attraction, the molecules, right? Now beta, come to this one diagram, the solid, this red molecules, they are so tightly packed. Why they are so tightly packed? Because there is this strong force of attraction. There is some attraction in their molecules, in their atoms, which are just bringing all the atoms closer to each other. Likewise, the weak force of attraction is there in the liquid, so that is why they are not as much closely packed as the solids are, right? And if we see the force of attraction in the gas, that is very very less or hardly negligible, right? Sometimes it is said that there is no force of attraction among the molecules of the gas, right? So beta, there is force of attraction, there is force of attraction, but that force of attraction is comparatively many times weaker than the force of attraction in solid and liquid. So that is why we sometimes say that there is hardly any. Okay, now beta, here you can see that there are 110 elements, right? And these 110 elements can form many of the compounds. So there is no limit, there is no limitation for the number or the quantity of the compound. They can be several, they can be thousands, they can be millions. That depends on the combination made by elements. So beta, here are some of the points which are very important. And yes, so we need to just read it out. I want a student to read it out. So now you need to raise your hand, those who want to read out this paragraph. This paragraph includes all the important lines from this chapter. So I want a student to read it out. Yes, Iraj? Yes, Iraj?
Remember, number one, anything that occupies a space and has weight is matter. Number two, matter is made up of atoms and molecules. Number three, the smallest particle of an element is an atom. Number four, atoms of two or more elements combine to form molecules, which are the smallest particles of a compound. Number five, solids, liquids, and gases are the three states of matter. They behave in different ways because of their chemical properties.
Okay, Rajvita, mute yourself now. Any other student who wants to read out this paragraph? Any other student? Yes, Amna? Read out from the beginning. Walaikum salam. Beta, please speak aloud. Okay, start reading from point number 5.
Remember,
Beta,
solid,
start.
liquid, solid, liquids, and gases are the three states of matter. They behave in different ways because of different in the arrangement of molecules in them. In solids, molecules are very tightly packed. In liquids, they are less tightly packed. In gases, they are completely free to move around. Heating or cooling can change the state of matter.
Very good. Mute yourself. Yes, who wants to read out the next? Yes, beta, more students, I want to raise their hand. I want them to raise their hand. Alina, can you please beta read it out?
Anything that occupies space and has weight is matter.
Good.
Matter is made up of atoms and molecules. Number three, the smallest particle of any element is an atom. Number four, atoms of two or more elements combine to form molecules, which are the smallest particles of a compound. Number five, solids, liquids, gases are the three states of matter. They behave in different ways because of differences in the arrangement of molecules in them. Number six, in solids, molecules are very tightly packed. In liquids, they are less tightly packed. In gases, they are completely free to move around. Number seven, heating or cooling can change the state of matter.
Very good. Okay, beta, we are having less than 1 minute, so your meeting can be ended anytime. Okay, so I want to say thank you to all of you to be here. Okay, and inshallah we shall meet tomorrow by the second class, and that there would be another chapter. Some of the important points would be discussed tomorrow. Okay, so thank you so much. Remember me in your prayers, and